I sat in the front row of the briefing room, trying but failing to concentrate. The room was sweltering, airless and currently home to a slow-moving black fly that was too canny to be swatted on its long, aimless journeys above our heads. Briefing this evening was taking forever, and I was tired already, before I'd even set foot on the street. It was my own fault. I'd been out during the day getting some sun instead of some rest. It was hard to get used to the first day of a new shift pattern, and when London was baking in the heat of August, I found it downright impossible to close the curtains and sleep. From the sunburnt, sleepy faces beside me and in the rows behind, I knew I wasn't the only one.
"Wake up, you lot! I feel as if I'm talking to myself up here."
Inspector Saunders scanned the room. Around me there was a ripple of movement as everyone straightened up in their seats and adjusted their body armour. It was possible to be deployed straight from briefings, so we had to be ready to hit the streets, which meant kitting up before we wedged ourselves into the flip-down seats. The inspector was straight-backed on her chair at the front of the room, flanked by the two sergeants from our team. Inspector Saunders was the only one who seemed unaffected by the heat. She was as self-contained as a cat, and just as lethal. She'd already given us the crewings, telling us who we were going to be patrolling with, and our call signals, and now she was going through intelligence briefings about wanted people. "If you look on the screen behind me, you'll see Howard Luckin. Howard is wanted on a number of warrants by Merseyside police, including distraction burglary, fraud, and vehicle theft." Howard's mugshot stared at us moodily, his expression hangdog. He was white with greying hair spread thinly over a sunburnt scalp. "We've had some reports that he's been seen in the Brixton area recently. He's got friends who live here and spent some time here 10 years ago, so he may be hanging around." I stifled a yawn, then felt guilty. When you were living out your dream, you weren't supposed to be bored, ever. And being a police officer had been my dream for most of my life. I still couldn't believe my luck. I liked being on the street, working response, turning up and handling whatever came over the radio. I didn't mind the shifts. Even nights, my new shift pattern, working from 10 in the evening until 7 the next morning. I liked most of my colleagues on Team 2, which I joined 2 months before as a probationer straight out of Hendon, even though I was still getting to know most of them. I got a kick out of putting on my uniform, lacing up my boots, fighting my hair into a bun and settling my black bowler on top of it, far down, over my eyes. I loved having a leather wallet in my pocket that flipped open to prove to the world I was PC Maeve Kerrigan, Metropolitan Police Officer. Shoulder number 9811LD. I walked taller in my uniform. I felt different. I felt right.
"Come on, you lot! Last item."
Inspector Saunders glared around the room. She was near to retirement and as old school as they come.
"Barry, what do you look like? You're sweating like a pedo in a paddling pool."
"Thanks, Gov." Barry Allen was the larger kind of response officer, built for comfort, not for speed, and if I was suffering in the briefing room, he appeared to be melting.